Hello, hello, hello there. Much love. Hey there. Hey there, what do you say there? This is Jerome Shaw here, coming at you with a message on Mantis. One of the characters from this movie that I just saw, and this movie was an amazing superhero movie. Have not seen a superhero movie like this in quite some time. Definitely go check this out. It's in theaters right now. Check it out wherever you can. I highly recommend it. It's called Guardians of the Galaxy 3. Guardians of the Galaxy 3. And this movie was phenomenal in so many ways. Spoiler alert. If you haven't seen the movie yet, I'm going to be talking about this character that really stuck out to me. And I was very impressed by the way that this character was handled, by the things that she was able to do with the Guardians of the Galaxy crew. So I trust that you will too by the end of this video, where we are examining and analyzing this character named Mantis, who actually has a superpower that I feel we all have. She has something that I feel lies within us all. And I'm going to explain my meaning. So, in the movie, once again, spoiler alert, if you haven't seen it and don't want to be spoiled, then don't continue on. But if you don't really care, it's okay. This character named Mantis, she has these antennae that go up, and she seems like she's another species. She's from another race. She's humanoid. She has humanoid parts. Like, she has arms and legs, but she also has parts of her, like her eyes and her antenna, that are not really of the human species. So she's humanoid, but she's something else. But the thing that she really has that stuck out to me is she has a deep form of empathy. Some people have different words for it to describe this. There are people today that feel that they feel too much. And that there are other people in society that look on those feeling people, right? And they might even say themselves, you feel too much. Why are you so emotional? Stop being so emotional. Why are you so sensitive? And these hypersensitive people, as they might call them, these HSPs, might just be misunderstood, right? They just have a high functioning form of empathy. Maybe feeling too much isn't necessarily a bad thing, right? Maybe having more empathy for other beings isn't necessarily a sad thing, right? Because when you think about it, what would be the alternative to feeling too much? What, to be numb? To not feel at all? Is that what we want? Is that what that's called, right? So when people are so appalled by someone who feels it all, I think that actually could be their downfall. In this modern age where we hear, oh, why are you so sensitive? You're so sensitive. Why would we ever want to be numb? Why would we put down someone who feels more, instead of wondering what it could be that we could explore, right? So this character named Mantis, I loved this character. I loved everything about her. First of all, she's not afraid to feel, because what she feels is real. So she's not afraid to just be in the moment. The whole movie, she was so in the moment. She was so in the present that while people were fretting and worrying about the future, or when they were depressed or wondering about the past, she was always in the now. She wasn't thinking about how, she wasn't thinking about why, she wasn't with her head in the clouds in the sky, right? She was just right here, right now. And I think that that was a wonderful place to be, and a place that ultimately we can be free. When we understand, if we have anxiety, we're all in the future. If we have depression, we're in the past. But if we have peace, we have embraced the present that is present. That is the gift that can actually lift and can actually shift if you allow it. So she was always in the present moment, always smiling, always laughing, always caught up in the action of the scene. And I just watched this as I was looking at the screen, and it was just, oh man, it was so cool to see someone to be so free, right? So in their childlike nature, unafraid to feel. And as I started to peel back the layers, I started to ask myself, what is different about this one? What is, this one is not like the others. Not like her sisters and brothers, right? She was able to touch lives in such a way that she forever impacted all the lives that she touched. Now, that is actually one of my definitions for the word we call legacy. That your legacy is not necessarily the things that you do, not necessarily the things that you say, but all the lives you have touched along the way. That is actually your legacy. So Mantis left a legacy everywhere she went because that was her power. She would literally touch other people's lives in profound ways. She actually had the power to put her hand on you, and in that moment of skin to skin contact, in that tactile technique, right? Since she didn't use tact with her words, since she preferred to keep it real with the way she felt, she would use her hands to get across her demands, right? She would touch somebody and just for fun, she might say, "You are madly in love with this person," right? And she actually pulled a prank on one of her crew members, Drax, by doing that. And it was so hilarious because there was nothing he could do, right? She was able to transfer the feeling into someone else and have them feeling something for her crew. So not only was she able to feel, she was able to give that feeling to someone else who didn't have it before. Because she wasn't able to feel, she was able to do so much more. There was so much more in store for this character because feelings were not a chore for this character, but they were the ways that she could express the way she knows best. She could even alleviate someone from their own stress. She could make someone feel stronger or someone else feel less. There were so many ways that she was able to play, but she was able to use her power. There were even scenes where there were these monsters that were almost about to devour the Guardians in this one scene. And I mean, this was awesome. But they were faced against what they thought were monsters. But what they didn't understand, that she knew, again, was that the monsters were actually just creatures from another species, right? From within the galaxy. They were just misunderstood. And so she did what anybody with her abilities would. And she reached out her hand. And she sought first to understand. And when she touched the beings, when she touched these sentient creatures, she was able to tap in to their emotions, to their feelings, and understand something that was so revealing and so healing, not only for them, but for her as well. And if you were watching the screen, you could actually tell, because she was actually shedding tears in that moment of feeling fear from this other being, from this other creature that they had been running from. They had been trying to escape, but she was able to touch this creature, and she changed both of their fate. This scene was so great. I mean, oh my gosh. I don't know if other people in the crowd were able to feel the message, were able to really understand the underlining theme, because there's so much to what it all means. You know, the ways that we connect, the energy that we project, and the things that we reflect. When we do not neglect and we start to respect, right? That's the energy that we must protect. If you've ever seen someone who has handled creatures or other beings or other species, right? I've seen people who handled bees. There was a lady who handled bees on her hand. The bees wouldn't sting her, right? They were just moving around her fingers. And she was able to let them linger. And all the joy that it would bring her. It was amazing just to see the energy raising, just to see her smile as she sat there all the while playing with this bee. And little old me, I'm over here trying to dodge it, right? I'm trying to get out the way. But she showed me something that day. You've seen people handling insects and creatures because somehow they can understand them. You've seen people handle reptiles and rodents and snakes and critters because they can somehow understand them. You've seen people speak to dogs and whisper to cats and horses and speak to them in ways that other people can't speak to them because they can somehow understand them. Even though they're not the same species, somehow they speak the same language. Woo! Come on, somebody, talk to them. And I feel that we all have this superpower. Deep, deep down, we all speak the same language. I've traveled the world a little bit, and no matter where I have gone, even if I didn't know the language, right? Even if all I had was Google Translate, because I know myself, I realize that there is a language we all speak. And this is something that many don't find, but somehow we all seek. And if you realize this within yourself, you can be at your peak. The language of the heart, I feel, is where we must start. And if we speak from the heart, we are never set apart, right? You talk to somebody and you understand that laughter, expression, joy, emotion, these are languages we all speak. And if you have a certain EQ, a certain emotional intelligence, you can pick it up and understand. So just like Mantis, the power is all in your hands. You too can touch lives. You can open someone's eyes. You can shape people's realities and shape your own with your mentality. Seek first to understand and not to be understood. Letting go of what you should to embrace all that you could, right? Embrace the bad and the good. Embrace everyone in the neighborhood. And this is something that I feel was really so real, that really sold me and really told me that there's always hope. In today's age, when we each have the ability to reach and teach someone else, just by choosing to touch, I want to let you know, my friend, we need it so much. So whatever you call it emotional intelligence, EQ, call it empathy, call it being highly sensitive, whatever you call this ability, just allow it to be. Because the only way that we can be free is for you to be you and for me to be me. Allow yourself to connect, and people will always reflect. And if you allow it deep enough, it might come in ways that you would never expect. Much love to Mantis and the Guardians of the Galaxy crew. And keep embracing your uniqueness in all that you do.